town property or in the roadway, should we decide to do that, remain the purview of the town board, although I expect we'll be using this as the model. There's a provision to allow you to have a food truck on your own property in a residential area if you are, say, having a party and you want to bring a taco truck. But that's also limited so that it can't be a back door to having a food truck in the middle of the East Village or something like that. So that's where we are. I will start by offering the first comment that I got from a couple of people. The law, as it's currently drafted, has the hours of operation being 7 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. And I've had a couple of people request that we extend that to 11 because part of the reason for having the food trucks is to service some of the establishments that stay open later in the evening. I don't see an issue with that. There are still all of the public nuisance laws. If your food truck is too loud, too late at night, we'll shut you down. So that is a comment that I'm adding. That's all I got unless there are questions.
We'll open up, Jerry, would you like to comment?
I had a question before you
Okay,
turn it over
sure.
to the public, please.
Sure.
I know that under the requirements, number 7 mentions annual and daily fees. Has there been any consideration as to what those fees would be? And I'm not saying we need it right now, but if we have it, we might as well put it in there.
We have not. It's the usual, the town needs to establish what those fees would be. They're not defined in the law so that we can change them by resolution from year to year. So for now, it's going to be whatever we expect the review process by the building department to be, the building official who reviews all these applications. So I'm guessing something on the order of $100 or something like that, but it hasn't been decided.
Thank you.
Also, there's different terms for the permits. You can, right? You can have an annual permit, a daily permit,
There's an annual permit or like a 3-day permit.
or 3-day permit.
So
Okay.
You know, I know under letter H, you have a lot of useful stuff about the aesthetics, you know, keeping it clean. And to Michelle's concern, I saw about grease and those kind of things. I know there's nothing particular about the aesthetic of the truck. I guess the customer would help enforce that. If the truck looks grungy, I guess it would persuade people not to use the service. So I guess that's kind of hard to put that kind of language in there, but.
well, actually, in the operations section A, to that point, food trucks, in order to get their town permit, have to demonstrate that they have a county board of health permit to operate a food establishment.
Right. I was thinking just the way the truck looks, you know, is it too garish or, you know, crazy looking, but.
Aesthetics is difficult. You start to run into First Amendment issues, but
Yeah,
there are rules for how big the signage can be.
right. I did see that. Thank you.
Was that French fry truck in the fair? It was very weird looking, but had good French fries.
I guess we should open it up to the public.
Yes. So if someone who's participating on Zoom would like to make a comment, if you could just use the function to raise your hand and then Marissa can call on you.
Do you want to open it? You didn't officially open it up.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now we're going to start the public comment period. I will open the public hearing at 7:10 p.m.
There you go. Perfect. I mean, this whole audience isn't here to talk about food trucks? Are you raising your hand, Jared?
Yes.
Okay,
I am raising my
Please.
hand.
all right. Please state your
Waiting
name.
for public.
Time out, time out.
He needs a microphone.
This is so that the people participating on Zoom can hear you.
Gentlemen, come on in, make yourself at home. It's a big crowd. Yeah, now that you're
Most
here.
people are on Zoom, as you can see.
My name's Sheridan Cole, 7 Southside Place in Tuxedo, New York. I really don't understand the whole food truck concept business. Why should we have a food truck when there's plenty of space in downtown Tuxedo for someone to open up something, a restaurant or whatever? I mean, I don't understand why the guy at the Gulf Station who has planning board approval hasn't done anything yet. Or across the street where the old Orange Top was, why that hasn't been done something with. So I think just putting a food truck would just nail this town right to death. Might as well close the door and just go home.
Thank you, Jerry.
Wait, there's
One
more.
more comment? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
You're saying daily and permitting fees and all that stuff. Right now, you have the farmer's market, which the town, I believe, is getting $0. And all those people that come in to sell their wares just take the money and go home. We don't see any of that. So, I mean, do we want more of that?
Thank you. Okay. Take a moment to see if anybody on Zoom wants to add a comment.
Hey, hi, it's Evelyn David. Can I ask a question?
Yep, go ahead, Evelyn.
Hello?
Hi, Evelyn,
Hi.
we hear you.
Hi. Would there be, like in New York, there are certain hours that the food carts can be out. So is that one of the elements? Like time, number one, I know you're discussing where this food truck would be, and would there be restricted, well, the hours would be, what would the hours be? I mean, I'm trying to think if it would interfere with whatever restaurant might open up ever, another one besides, the couple that we have. That's the question.
Yes, so yes, the hours of operation would be restricted from 7 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night.
Whoa.
And they're restricted in location so that they need to be at least 150 feet away from another restaurant on a different site.
I see. Till 11 o'clock at night?
They're not required to be open that long.
Well, that's the comment that came.
Then that was a comment that came. Originally, we had it as 9 o'clock, and there were people who requested it be later. I mean,
Oh, I see.
the reason, the reason that we're bringing this up at all is that there are businesses in town who have requested this, which is why we keep bringing it up. This isn't just me wanting to have a greasy sandwich in the middle of the night.
I see. Okay. Right. Okay. So there would be restricted areas also, very specific areas where this truck could go.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's laid out,
Okay.
and there's about, 5 pages to
There's about 5 pages of
5
it.
pages to the draft law, which you can check out online to see the
Oh,
distances
okay.
from adjacent properties and setbacks.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I hope it's not going to have music blaring and lights blaring and,
In
be
fact,
someplace where
there's
people,
no
Right.
amplified music. Amplified music is specifically forbidden.
okay, good, great. All right, so let's see where this guy wants to put his truck, this person. I mean, it would be nice if he put it over in the parking lot somewhere, not in the parking lot across the street from the, where we, across from the river. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
It's on private property.
Right.
Except by town board decision.
Oh, okay. I think there's enough light coming from that parking lot as it is. Okay,
Thank you,
because
Evelyn.
he's going to be illuminated all night. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. I will read that. I'll read the document.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thanks.
So, Howard, do we have board discussion now or after a motion is made?
We should close the hearing.
Okay, okay, I'll close the
Yeah,
hearing.
but you want to first make sure everybody that's been heard,
Right.
wants to be heard, has that opportunity to be heard. And once they have, then you can close the hearing. And then when the item comes up on your agenda for consideration for adoption, you could have your discussion then.
Okay. All right, I'd like to make a motion that the people having been heard, have been heard, or wishing to be heard have been heard, and I'd like to close the public hearing. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, good, so close the meeting at 7:17. Okay, so before we open up the public comment on agenda items, I'll just explain a little bit about what the agenda items are. The first item on the agenda is a consideration of a resolution to close the seeker process for Tuxedo Farms. Over the past year, the following were asked for comments: the Tuxedo Planning Board, the Orange County Planning Board, the New York State Department of Transportation, and the Tuxedo Union Free School District. The town board carefully reviewed comments from each of these boards and agencies. The second item is consideration of local law number 5. The town board had requested that the developer of Tuxedo Farms include 30 more single-family homes and reduce the number of townhomes and/or multifamily units by 30. The town board felt that this would achieve a better mix of housing types for our community. So first, we'll have public comments. I'll read the resolutions after public comment period. We invite the public to sign in if you would like, those here, or you can always raise your hand if you are participating by Zoom. If you wish to make a comment, and that you keep your comment to 2 minutes. All relevant documents have been available on the town's website. In addition, the public meeting that the town board held with the school board and related was recorded and posted on the website on Friday. So this isn't a public hearing, but it's a public comment period, so I will open up the public comment period to the audience first.
I have a question, but it goes back to the food trucks.
Oh,
Is
sorry.
that going to be handled by the building department permits for that?
Yes.
Is that,
Yes.
that's who's going to handle that? Okay. Thank
They'll
you.
make sure the setbacks and everything are satisfied.
Right, that the property is adequate or the proper place for. Now, can you rent property to put a food truck?
Yes.
Yes. So when I want to rent from Related, the entrance to their building to put my food truck, I can do that, or the owner has to do that?
The owner of the property doesn't have to be the owner of the food truck, so long as they're both in agreement that that's what they're doing. You
Okay.
can't go squat on somebody's land.
Right, okay, very good. Even public land.
Public land is different. So if you wanted to put a food truck on a town property, say you had this bright idea, you're gonna put a coffee truck in the parking lot of the train station for morning rush hour.
Right,
Then you'd have to talk to the town, and then the town board would have jurisdiction on whether or not you could do that.
okay. So it would have to be the person that owns the property has to give approval for you to put the truck there. You can't just pull off to the side of the road, say at the bottom of Sterling Mine Road where Long Meadow makes a turn and with a perfect spot, you could put a hot dog truck there. You can't just pull in there and start peddling your wares, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Nice to start with a softball question.
Okay, those are the only two items on the agenda. We always have public comment on agenda items. So if you are participating by Zoom and would like to make a comment, please raise your hand.
And the raise hand feature is under the reactions on the toolbar at the bottom of the screen. If you move your cursor to the bottom of the screen, you should see a toolbar. The reactions is on my screen, the second from the right. Click on that and you'll see a raise hand feature. I'll raise my hand just to show how it works. See, my hand is up. My hand is down.
Okay, I think we can move on to the agenda items. And before we do that, you want another 5 seconds?
Okay, good. Now it's a full minute. No, you're good.
Okay. Before we go to the agenda items, if you would please remind me at the end, if we feel we're ready to adopt the food truck while we can.
Right, I have it. We'll
Make that
bring
move.
it back up in other business.
Okay. Would you
I already have
Please
notes.
remind me.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, so now I do have a question of Larry and Howard. How much would you like me to read of this resolution?
I think you should read the entire resolution.
Okay,
I know it's a bit lengthy, but it goes through the history and the process, and I think it'll be beneficial for everyone to hear.
okay, super.
And one of the other board members can help share it with you. if
Oh, yeah,
it's-
we already figured that out.
Okay.
It's a lot of pages. Okay, so whereas on November 15th, 2004, the town board of the town of Tuxedo as lead agency adopted a State Environmental Quality Review Act seeker finding statement and issued a special permit and approved a preliminary plan for the Tuxedo Farms Planned Integrated Development, otherwise known as the project, previously called Tuxedo Reserve, encompassing approximately 2,247 acres in the town of Tuxedo and a portion in the village of Sloatsburg. And whereas the town board issued amended special permits, seeker findings, and related approvals for the project in 2010 and 2015. And whereas the project is grandfathered into the planned integrated development regulations in existence at the time the special permit was first issued, it's a grandfathered PID regulation. And whereas in and around November 2021, Tuxedo Reserve Owner LLC, the applicant, the developer of the project, applied to the town board and thereafter has engaged in discussions with the town board and other involved and interested agencies regarding certain proposed amendments to the project's special permit and preliminary plan. Collectively, all the modifications to the project described in this resolution are referred to as the proposed amendments or proposed action. And whereas the town board has continued to act as lead agency for the proposed action pursuant to seeker, and whereas the proposed amendments are intended primarily to facilitate an adjustment in the project's unit mix distribution to meet current market demand for what is known as missing middle housing, and whereas missing middle housing is a range of housing typologies that are typically smaller and more moderately priced than a single-family home to meet the needs of downsizing seniors as well as first-time home buyers. And whereas the proposed amendments would retain the character of the project as a walkable planned community, comprising several residential neighborhoods centered around a mixed-use town center known as the Commons. And whereas the proposed amendments also include updated design standards, that is, smart code, performance standards, and architectural and landscape design guidelines to accommodate the new development program and to permit additional building materials. And whereas the proposed amendments further include an amendment to Local Law 3 of 2011 to reflect certain caps and minimum requirements on unit counts. And whereas the proposed amendments would increase the total unit count, including age restricted, from 1,195 to 1,609, and increase the total bedroom count from 3,324 to 3,574, with a maximum bedroom count inclusive of age-restricted units capped at 3,620 based on sewer and water capacity. And whereas, more specifically, the proposed amendments to the 2015 special permit and project include, but are not limited to, the following. 1, remove the requirement to build 764 single-family homes and replace it with the requirement to build 269 single-family detached homes. 2, increase the maximum unit count from 1,375 to 1,609. 3, increase the non-age restricted maximum bedroom cap from 2,860 to 3,070. 4, remove references to the Palisades Interstate Parks Commission swap alternative as it is no longer contemplated. 5, update the definition of multifamily to exclude attached home concepts such as townhomes and stacked townhomes. 6, revise the timing and amount of the Hamlet Revitalization Funding Program payments. The amount of the grant fund would increase from $1 million to $1,100,000, and the loan fund would be eliminated. 7, modify the library agreement to permit shared use between the applicant and town and library of a new approximately 4,000 square foot community event building in the Commons to be constructed by the applicant with an option for the town to acquire the building. I'll just finish these numbers and I'll hand it over.
Okay.
8, modify the pilot payment schedule regarding the 88.78 acres. Did I say that right? Let me repeat. 88.78 acres of light industry office zoned land depicted on the 2022 preliminary plan. 9, remove the requirement to build the project in 3 phases in strict sequence to allow a more thoughtful and flexible development phasing to meet the market demands and allow construction of active adult communities sooner. 10, update the preliminary plan and regulating plan to A, show new master plan with planned unit types, B, adjust certain transect zone designations to allow more smaller homes and allow concentrated development around the center of community, and 11, update and replace the design standards as needed to allow proposed home types to meet the market demand and latest building materials while maintaining the quality and desired aesthetic character of the development. And
Oh, pick me. Whereas paragraph 1 of section 2 of local law number 3 of 2011 is proposed to be amended to read as follows. No more than 1,609 residential dwelling units may be constructed on the Tuxedo Farms planned integrated development, of which no more than 500 units shall be multifamily units, and no less than 269 units shall be single-family detached units, and no less than 174 shall be duplex units. And whereas during the course of the town board's review, the applicant submitted various technical information and data required by the town board, including, among other things, 1, technical memorandum prepared by AKRF, 2, 2022 preliminary plan, which consists of a set of 23 drawings, including surveys, zoning plan, regulating plan, public and private road hierarchy plans, conceptual stormwater management plan, and concept plan prepared by Langen Engineering and Hart Howerton. 3, updated design standards prepared by the applicant and its consultant. And 4, traffic assessment of proposed modifications to Tuxedo Farms prepared by Philip Habib and Associates, collectively the application materials. And whereas the technical memorandum was submitted to assist the town board in determining whether the supplemental environmental review was warranted under SECRA, and whereas the town board carefully reviewed the technical memorandum as updated and revised throughout the process to determine whether there were any new potential significant environmental impacts that were not previously studied in the prior SECRA review of the approved 2015 special permit and preliminary plan, or which were not fully studied as part of the technical memorandum and the application material. And whereas the town board, together with its independent planning and traffic consultants, Nelson Pope Voorhees and Nelson and Pope respectively, the town engineer, and the town attorney reviewed the application materials when they were originally submitted in November 2021, and as they were revised and resubmitted during the review process. And whereas the town board held approximately 10 work session meetings, which were duly noticed and attended by members of the public to discuss and provide comments on the application materials and the proposed amendments to the special permit and project. And whereas the town board and applicants' respective professional consultants and attorneys also worked together outside of these work session meetings to further discuss and revise the application materials to make sure all necessary SECRA and other information was provided to the town board. And whereas the applicant submitted revised application materials to the town board and its consultants on several occasions, including but not limited to January 27th, March 10th, and May 26th of 2022. And whereas the town board and its consultants independently reviewed all iterations of the application materials to ensure they were complete and in a form suitable for acceptance by the town board as lead agency. And whereas the town board conducted public hearings on the proposed amendments to the special permit and preliminary plan on June 16th and June 23rd, 2022 at 6 p.m. at the George Grant Mason Elementary School Multipurpose Room, 11 Hillside Avenue, Tuxedo, New York, at which time those wishing to comment on the proposed amendments were afforded an opportunity to be heard. And whereas the public hearing notice was published in the Times Herald Record, mailed to each owner of surrounding parcels of property and the village of Sloatsburg, and was posted on the town website. And whereas the town board voted to close public hearing on the proposed amendments of the special permit on June 23rd, 2022, and whereas the public hearing on the proposed amendments to Local Law 3 of 2011 was continued on June 27th, 2022, on which date said hearing was closed, and whereas the town board has listened carefully to all the comments and questions raised by the commenters at the public hearings, including, but not limited to, representatives of the Tuxedo Union Free School District, as well as comments that were submitted during written comment period, which was ended, on July 7th, 2022. And whereas the town board also referred the proposed amendment to the Town of Tuxedo Planning Board, and the Orange County Planning Department, OCPD, as required by law. And whereas on June 6th, 2022, the planning board issued its report to the town board pursuant to town zoning law. And whereas on July 25th, 2022, OCPD issued its report to the town board pursuant to general municipal law sections 239-1, 239-M, and 239-N. I'm sorry, I guess that's 239-L, 239-M, and 239-N. And whereas the OCPD report contained a binding comment to reinitiate review of the project with the New York State Department of Transportation, DOT, and to complete any supplemental traffic studies determined by DOT and Orange County Department of Public Works, OCPDW, to be necessary to assess traffic along traffic impacts along New York State Route 17 and affected local and county roads, and whereas somebody else better start reading now.
Whereas on August 22nd, 2022, a virtual meeting with representatives of the town and the applicant and its traffic consultants, OCDP, OCDPW, and DOT was held to discuss OCPD's transportation-related comments in its report. And whereas following the meeting, the applicant submitted additional information and analyses to DOT and OCPD, including a commitment to upgrade 3 traffic signals to operate adaptive signal control technology, ASCT, anticipated to be at the intersection of New York, NYS Route 17 and Seven Lakes Drive, Municipal Plaza, and Eagle Valley Road. And whereas on September 2nd, 2022, DOT and OCPD issued emails stating that given the additional technical information provided by and the applicant's commitment to install ASCT at 3 area intersections, the respective transportation-related concerns had been addressed, and the town board could complete its traffic review under seeker. And whereas at the request of Tuxedo Unified School District on September 6, 2022, representatives of the town board and the TUFSD conducted a meeting in person during which the TUFSD shared a presentation entitled Tuxedo Farms District Operational and Facility Impact Study, which was submitted to the entire town board on September 8, 2022. And whereas on September 19th, 2022, the TUFSD, by its attorney, submitted a follow-up letter to the town board via the town attorney, setting forth additional comments. And whereas the town board also received correspondence from Deputy Minority Whip Carl A. Brabenek and Village of Tuxedo Park Mayor David McFadden related to the Tuxedo Union Free School District. And whereas the town supervisor also conducted discussions with New York State Senator James Skoufis regarding the Tuxedo Union Free School District. And whereas the proposed amendment would not change any terms of the 2015 special permit that relates to the Tuxedo School District, including the applicant's total payment of $2.5 million and donation of approximately 40 acres of land to the Tuxedo Union Free School District, in addition to annual tax revenues generated by the project. And whereas the town board reviewed and analyzed the Tuxedo Union Free School District comments and concerns and asked the applicants and the town board's own independent consultant to review and respond to all the information submitted by the Tuxedo Union Free School District. And whereas the applicant, by its planning consult AKRF, prepared and submitted to the town board and updated technical memorandum, together with a supplemental school letter, both of which are dated October 11th, 2022, addressing all the Tuxedo Union Free School District comments. And whereas the town board's planning consultant independently evaluated the Tuxedo Union Free School District comments and the applicant's responses and issued a memorandum dated October 14th, 2022, including, among other things, that the applicant's response to the Tuxedo Union Free School District comments are reasonable and that the project would result in a positive fiscal benefit for the Tuxedo Union Free School District, town memorandum. And whereas the town board, together with its planning consultant and the town attorney, has carefully considered all the Tuxedo Union Free School District comments and the technical information submitted in response by the applicants and the board's consultants. Want to take over?
Sure. And whereas In the course of its continued review of the proposed action and in order to secure a better unit mix for the project, the town board requested that the applicant commit to replacing 30 1 to 3 bedroom, multifamily and/or townhouse units with 30 single-family homes anticipated to be 4 bedrooms each. And whereas such change in single-family homes would increase the number of bedrooms by 60, average of 2 additional bedrooms per each of the 30 units for a maximum of 3,574 bedrooms while maintaining a maximum unit count of 1,609. And whereas the applicant's October 11 technical memorandum evaluates this increase in single-family units and bedrooms and concludes that such program mix would not result in any potential significant adverse environmental impacts. And whereas on October 12, 2022, the town board reopened and closed a duly noticed public hearing on the proposed amendment to Local Law 3 of 2011 because the minimum required number of single-family units increased from 239 to 269 units as a result of this requested change. And whereas on October 19th, 2022, the applicant submitted a report prepared by Murphy, Burnham, and Buttrick Architects, further addressing certain comments of the Tuxedo Union Free School District, and demonstrated that there is a range of potential feasible approaches for accommodating the projected growth in enrollment in the Tuxedo Union Free School District, MB&B report. And whereas on October 20th, 2022, the town board conducted a special meeting and focused exclusively on comments raised by the Tuxedo Union Free School District and included a discussion by and among the town board, applicant, and Tuxedo Union Free School District, Tuxedo Union Free School District special meeting. And whereas the town board has further reviewed and considered the reports of the planning board and OCPD, comments made at public work sessions and public hearings, written comments, DOT, and OCPD correspondence, submissions by the Tuxedo Union Free School District, and the discussion during the Tuxedo Union Free School District special meeting. And whereas all the issues raised have been addressed either as part of the prior SECRA reviews and SECRA finding statements or during the town board's current review of the proposed amendments, including in the 2022 technical memorandum, and whereas the final set of application materials reviewed and considered by the town board and its consultants consists of the following. 1, technical memorandum with attachments, including the supplemental school letter prepared by AKRF, last reviewed October 11, 2022, 2022 technical memorandum. 2, preliminary plan, set of 23 drawings prepared by Langham Engineering and Hart Howerton, last revised September 8, 2022. 2022 preliminary plan. 3, updated design standards prepared by the applicant and its consultants, last revised September 16, 2022. And 4, MB&B report dated October 19, 2022. And whereas the town board has considered the advice and recommendations of its planning, engineering, and legal consultants with respect to the proposed amendments, including but not limited to 1, memoranda issued by Nelson Pope Voorhees, planning consultants, dated March 22, 2022, April 1, 2022, May 11th, 2022, and October 14th, 2022. 2, memorandum issued by Nelson Pope Traffic Consultants dated April 2, 2022. And 3, memorandum issued by Town Engineer dated March 24, 2022. And now therefore be it resolved that the town board finds that the proposed amendments individually and cumulatively will not result in any potential significant adverse impacts to the environment that were not previously studied during the prior SECRA reviews of the project, of which were not fully studied as part of the current review of the proposed amendments, including the 2022 technical memorandum. And be it further resolved that the town board finds that no additional or supplemental environmental review is required under SECRA for the proposed action pursuant to 6 NYCRR Section 617.9A7, and be it further resolved that the town board finds that the binding requirement contained in the OCPD's GML report with respect to traffic has been satisfied through the additional mitigation of the adaptive signal control technology at 3 intersections along New York State Route 17, based on discussions with DOT and OCPD, and accordingly, the requirements of GML Sections 239-1, no, you're right, L, M, and N have been met, and be it further resolved that the town board finds that the TUFSD comments and concerns have been adequately addressed in the 2022 technical memorandum and the supplemental school letter based on, 1, the board's thorough review and investigation of all materials submitted by the applicant and TUFSD, 2, the discussions during the TUFSD special meeting, and 3, advice from the town attorney and the town board's planning consultant, including but not limited to the planning consultant's town board memorandum, which concluded, among other things, that the project will be tax positive for the Tuxedo Union Free School District, and be it further resolved that the town board adopts the annexed amended findings statement for the proposed action as the town board's official written findings statement pursuant to 6 NYCRR Section 617.11, and be it further resolved that the town board as lead agency for SECRA review of the proposed action hereby determines that all procedural steps of SECRA and its implementing regulations have been fully satisfied in connection with the proposed action. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is directed to file the amended finding statement with the town supervisor, planning board, all involved agencies, any person who has requested a copy, and the applicant pursuant to 6 NYCRR Section 617.12B, and be it further resolved that except as superseded by this resolution, the 2022 special permit or the 2022 preliminary plan, all other terms, provisions, requirements, conditions, and mitigation measures set forth in the town board secret finding statement issued in 2004, 2010, and 2015 are incorporated herein by reference and shall remain in full force and effect. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Okay,
Done.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to accept this resolution. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
No, not for me.
Ken? Any further discussion, Ken?
No.
Okay.
Okay, Michelle, I've set this
Yes,
up,
Larry.
I've set this up as a roll call vote, so call on each member individually.
Will do, thank you. Okay, I'll take the roll call vote. Town Supervisor Kenneth English.
Aye.
Myself, Deputy Supervisor Michelle Lindsay, aye. Councilmember Maria May.
Aye.
Councilmember Jay Reichgott.
Aye.
Councilmember Deirdre Murphy.
Aye.
I declare this resolution adopted, approved for filing, dated October 24th, 2022, to be passed on to our town clerk, Marissa Dolba. But I see Marissa's name is misspelled. Strike one S. Leave off the last S.
Now, it's been a long road and
2004.
We're not done, we're not done yet.
we're not done yet.
You're not out of
Yes.
college yet.
Yeah, Larry, maybe Larry could tell us what our next step, well, first we will,
Don't we have to
we
do
have
this?
another resolution,
Yeah,
so.
let's do that.
Yeah, this next resolution is your consideration of adopting the local law amendment, which continues to grandfather Tuxedo Farms, but also specifies the new caps, the new development caps and requirements, and including those additional 30 single-family detached single residences that you referred to earlier, Michelle.
Okay,
It's a short one, only
So-
about 2 pages.
this is, yes, this is a shorter. So,
I have a quick question.
yes.
Has it been verified? I know there was some question about, is this local law number 4 or local law number 5? I'm just not sure. Has that been?
Marissa
You can't see me,
said
it's fine.
5.
It's fine.
This is local law, this will
Number
be
fi-
local law
it's
number
5.
5. It amends local law number 4 of this year, which amended local law number 3 of 2011.
Okay,
Four was never filed.
4 was right.
Sorry.
4
Okay,
4 was never adopted. So what it did was it amended the introductory local law of Law 4, and then by the time we got to this point, another local law interceded. So this now becomes 5.
So the heading says resolution adopting local law number 4 of 2022. Should that read number 5 of 2022?
That's,
Mine
I
reads-
have number 5.
I have number 5
also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I must
Yeah.
have printed an older version.
Yeah.
don't worry, local law number 4 shows up several times in the document.
Very good.
You'll get the full history.
I know I will because I've read this several times already.
Whereas local law number 4A of 1998 repealed and reenacted zoning regulations governing planned integrated developments in the town. And whereas section 2 of local law number 4A of 1998 exempted the Tuxedo Farms planned integrated development, the project, previously called Tuxedo Reserve, from review under the new zoning regulations, subject to the project complying with certain limits on the number of single-family dwellings that could be developed, including an overall maximum number of 1,195 residential dwellings, of which no less than 866 must be single-family detached and semi-detached units. And whereas on November 15th, 2004, the town board of the town of Tuxedo issued a special permit and approved a preliminary plan for the project. And whereas the town board issued an amended special permit and other approvals for the project in 2010, and whereas the town board amended local law 4A of 1998 by the adoption of local law 5 of 2010, concurrent with the approval of the 2010 special permit, which authorized a revised unit mix for the project. Local law 5 was later renumbered and filed as local law 3 of 2011. And whereas local law 3 of 2011 provided that no more than 1,195 residential dwelling units may be constructed on the Tuxedo Reserved Planned Integrated Development, of which no more than 180 units shall be rental, and no less than 764 shall be single-family detached and semi-detached. An additional 180 units may be constructed, provided those units are constructed for senior citizens and persons in need of congregate care or assisted living, end quote. And whereas the town board issued an amended special permit and other approvals for the project in 2015. And whereas Tuxedo Reserve Owner LLC, the applicant, the developer of the project, has applied to the town board to approve certain modifications to the project's 2015 special permit and preliminary plan. And whereas the applicant has also requested that the town board amend local law number 3 of 2011 to reflect the current proposed caps and minimum requirements on unit counts for the project. And whereas more specifically, the applicant's application to amend the 2015 special permit and preliminary plan proposes to change the minimum required number of single-family detached units to 269 and the minimum duplex units to 174, as well as to increase the maximum number of residential dwellings to 1,609, of which no more than 500 units shall be multifamily units. And, would you like?
Of course. Whereas the applicant had originally proposed the minimum required number of single-family detached units to be 239. However, the town board required the applicant to increase the minimum number of single-family detached units to 269 with a corresponding reduction in townhouse, stacked townhouse, and/or multifamily units to keep the maximum unit count at 1,609 and achieve a proper mix of unit types in the project. And whereas a form of local law number 5 of 2022, amending local law number 3 of 2011, has been presented to the members of the town board for their review and consideration. And whereas the town board conducted public hearings on local law number 5 of 2022 on June 23rd, 2022, and June 27th, 2022, at 6 p.m. at the George Grant Mason Elementary School Multipurpose Room, 11 Hillside Avenue, Tuxedo, New York, at which time those wishing to comment on local law number 4 of 2022 were afforded an opportunity to be heard. And whereas the town board reopened the duly noticed public hearing on local law number 5 of 2022 on October 12th, 2022 at 7 p.m. in Town Hall, 1 Temple Drive, Tuxedo, New York, at which time those wishing to comment on the above referenced increase in the minimum required number of single-family detached units to 269 following the June public hearings were afforded an opportunity to be heard. And whereas the town board studied the potential significant adverse environmental impacts of local law number 5 of 2022 pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act and its implementing regulations, collectively SECRA. And whereas on or about tonight, right?
Tonight, yeah.
On or about
October
October 24, 2022, the town board as lead agency adopted an amended finding statement pursuant to SECRA for certain proposed amendments to the project, including, but not limited to, the amendment set forth in local law number 5 of 2022, amended finding statement. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board finds that it is in the public interest to continue to grandfather the project under the town's pre-existing zoning regulations governing planned integrated developments, and be it further resolved that the town board finds that the proposed amendment to local law number 3 of 2011, as set forth in local law number 5 of 2022, provides adequate caps and minimum requirements with respect to multifamily units, single-family detached units, and duplex units to achieve a proper mix of unit types in the project. And be it further resolved that local law number 5 of 2022 is hereby approved. And be it further resolved that paragraph 1 of section 2 of local law number 3 of 2011 is hereby amended to read as follows. 1. No more than 1,609 residential dwelling units may be constructed on the Tuxedo Farms planned integrated development, of which no more than 500 units shall be multifamily units, and no less than 269 units shall be single-family detached units, and no less than 174 shall be duplex units. And be it further resolved that the amended finding statement is incorporated herein by reference, and no further findings or determination of significance is required under SECRA. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to file the local law with the New York State Department of State. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to accept local law number 5 of 2022. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Deirdre will second that.
Okay, this is Deirdre. Any further discussion? Ken?
And for me, no.
Okay, I'll take a roll call vote. Town Supervisor Kenneth English.
Aye.
Myself, Deputy Supervisor Michelle Lindsay. Aye. Councilmember Maria May.
Aye.
Councilmember Jay Reichgott.
Aye.
Councilmember Deirdre Murphy.
Aye.
Resolution
I
is
declare this
adopted.
resolution adopted, approved for filing on today's date of 10/24, October 24th.
Thank you. For all these years.
Supervisor, and thank you, town board. Your dedication and the work you did is amazing this past year. I'm so impressed.
We're not done yet.
Sorry.
We'll get there, we'll get there.
Don't stop now, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. Yep. Larry, maybe you can push us or tell us what our next steps are?
Yeah, so essentially now the next step is finalizing the special permit itself and all the appendices that go along with that. What I thought would be useful is that once that stuff is done, it all be packed, the whole thing be in a package made for each of you, so that when you conduct your final review, you have everything before you that we've essentially, all components of the special permit and the appendices. Once the town board is ready, it can entertain another meeting to consider and adopt the special permit.
What do you see as the timeline on that? Do you have any?
It'll be, yeah, well, I
vague-
think we'll be able to get packages to individual town board members within, I would say within a week. I want Bonnie to review the preliminary plan set and make sure that is satisfactory. Once that sign off happens, we'll get everything over to you, and you can, at your discretion, schedule a meeting where we can go over it.
I have a question, Larry. Michelle, may I?
Of course.
Okay, so I see on the amended findings statement, the seeker 28-page document. On page 1, it mentions the lead agency adoption of this amended findings. I guess that just needs to be marked as today. Is there a vote that actually has to happen with this document, or did we already do that?
No, you've adopted that document, which you folks have already reviewed, and you've adopted it by this resolution tonight. Now, where we have date blanks, because we don't assume anything, we leave date blanks. So where we have date blanks, we'll get those filled in, and they'll be fine. Everything will be put in final form.
Very good.
So Ken, we have 3 weeks before our next town board meeting. So I guess we could just, how much notice would we need to give for a special meeting? If we were going to have one before then, if everything's ready?
Howard's trying to opine. There he goes.
Oh,
All you need is 3 days.
3 days. Okay. So we'll wait for the packages and then set a meeting date.
Yeah, we'll want you to go through it one last time very carefully, and then when you guys acknowledge that you're ready for further deliberation and discussion on it, we'll set up a time to meet.
It's a plan.
Okay, okay.
Well, I'd like to personally thank Larry and Bonnie and Howard for their amazing work on this. Larry, you've been our lead guy on this. You put in an amazing amount of time and answered all our questions, worked with us all individually and collectively. And, your experience on this project was invaluable. And same with Bonnie. I don't think Bonnie is actually here this evening, but kudos. And, you've guided the town and the town board. You've guided many town boards through this process. And I think your continuation on this project has just protected all that we worked really hard to do for the town. So personally, I'd like to thank you very much.
Yeah, well, we certainly appreciate that. And having been involved in this since 1990, probably around 96, 97, it's been a long road. And hopefully we square away that special permit, and then, something really positive will happen for the town. So,
Howard, thank you for being with us all these many years and guiding this town board through the process. Again, heartfelt thanks. Couldn't have done it without your team.
So
And
it's our
Bonnie?
pleasure. It's our pleasure. I mean, we've tried several iterations over the years to come up with projects that met your needs at various stages of history. Hopefully this last one will stick.
You know, I urge everyone to read the amended finding statements and understand that this really is a very positive development for the town of Tuxedo, for everyone involved. And we look forward to it coming to fruition. Michelle, I know you've been involved in this longer than I have, so thank you also for your years of guidance on this and helping to move this forward.
I think we can all be pleased with all the work we've done to get us to this point.
Absolutely.
And I like to think that Greg Boucher and your team, you have listened to us and you have listened to the needs that we brought to you, and you have worked with us. You've been a good partner. And so we look forward to working with you more.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
You guys are great to work with.
And you'll all have an opportunity to read that special permit allowed at some future meeting.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Riveting.
Can you imagine?
Maybe we could record it and play it back.
Yeah.
We can get a professional reader to record it. We could just hit play.
Okay.
okay.
Moving on.
Department updates.
Yes,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, we're not
Well,
done
thank
with
you
the
so
meeting.
much for coming out, Greg.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming out tonight.
I'm sure he wants to stay for the food truck
Oh,
continuation.
yeah. Don't you want to hear about that?
It's just the law. We don't actually have a food truck yet.
Yes, we have to pass that later.
Okay.
Want to stay?
Good thing I brought tea.
Okay, we are going to move on to department updates. We have Rob in person tonight.
There you go. Okay, I have a question for the town board on how to proceed. As one of the speed trailers was damaged and is totaled, do we want to replace it with another? How do we want to proceed with that?
Did we have any,
We decided
We
we
decided
wanted
we
to.
were
yeah,
going to.
we wanted to, we want to replace it.
I must have missed that, okay.
It was not, it was a discussion. We haven't
Yeah.
made a resolution. or
okay.
anything.
Yeah,
No, no, but we're going to replace it, call the insurance company, have the insurance company. Is that the steps
Would
we
you-
want to
We
take?
should definitely talk to the insurance company, because whether or not we replace it, we'd like to get the
Right.
money.
Right, exactly. It's not cheap and, right.
And then my only thing is, we have a new police chief, so maybe we should
He can come
bring
and
him
have,
into this discussion as well, and we can decide what would be best.
he can come to the highway department. He can see how they work and the data that we get off them. And if they want to take it over from the highway department, that probably is not a bad idea.
Right.
Because they can probably use the data more than us.
Did we figure out how to get the data?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
figured it out, yeah.
Getting the data is not hard, it's using the data that's trickier.
Ah,
Right.
it's always the way, it's always
Right,
the
we
case.
did nothing other than say, geez, somebody went through here at 80 an hour,
Yeah.
you know. That's,
I'd like us to consider actually getting additional equipment. I think maybe not the exact models that we have, but I feel I've heard a lot of public comment, and from my own observations, they definitely have an impact on slowing traffic down. And I think as we gather more data, it'll become even more useful. That obviously was the plan from the inception. And, obviously the Route 17 corridor around the hamlet is an obvious candidate for trying to slow down the traffic on that 4-lane highway. But there's certainly other roads, as Councilperson Deirdre Murphy is trying to work on changing the speed limit on Long Meadow Road, down by the Woodlands especially. And there's certainly other neighborhoods that by rotating these traffic devices would have a positive impact on controlling the traffic. So I would like us to at least consider getting additional units.
Okay.
Wait, we'll get to it.
I'm staying out of that.
Go ahead, Rob.
No,
Please.
I'm gonna stay out of that because that goes off into a whole nother direction that I shouldn't get into.
No, I meant about continuing your report.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, leaf season's upon us and we are out collecting leaves. We are preparing for winter, getting the plows ready, the trucks prepared, everything for that. We've just completed repairing our salt barn and paving the bottom of the salt barn, which we had problems with as people digging up salt to put on trucks, going a little deep and putting rocks and things of that nature in and spreading them on the roads, which some people didn't like hitting rocks on the road. So, but we've just finished that. So, and that's pretty much what we have. We're done with cutting and trimming and all that type of stuff. So, and we're preparing for winter. Did put in the bulbs, as everybody knows.
I noticed that.
We put the bulbs in along the berm on 17 in front of the train station, and we put bulbs down in front of the Welcome to Tuxedo sign. So at least in the spring, something will pop up a little colorful, I guess. And what else we got? Mulch is always in the mulch bins. If it's going low, we will soon fill it up. So, and then when we're picking up leaves, again, it's leaves that are blown or raked to the curb. Please don't put rocks. Please don't put your dog waste. Please don't put all the other stuff that may happen to get out there. Branches go with branches, that type of stuff. And that's pretty much what we got going on. We're done with the rock pile. We're done with until we get past the leaf season and we go into the snow season. Then we'll go back and start separating the rocks from the dirt to get ready for next spring.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Marissa?
Good evening, everyone. Early voting for the general election starts this Saturday, October 29th, and it runs through Sunday, November 6th. The closest locations for us are the Monroe Town Hall or Warwick Town Hall. If you need the dates and times, I have them posted on our website or they're on my board outside the office. This Sunday, there's 2 trunk or treat events going on. There's Sloatsburg, so if you time it out right, you can hit both. Sloatsburg is 1 to 3, and then Tuxedo is hosting a trunk or treat at Powerhouse Park from 4 to 6. Anyone wants to enter their car, email Claire Dewar at recreationcoordinator@tuxedogov.org. That's it.
People are always very creative.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
it's
they've
really
had some
fun.
really cute cars.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have anyone on Zoom? Any department heads?
Banjo with John.
John Banyo? And Frank Peverly? Do you have
The only thing I want to mention and for the board's benefit, community's benefit, we'll have one of our members has submitted the resignation. Looks like it's effective at the end of the year. We expect him to finish the last couple meetings. We do have an alternate member, which is thankful. So we should be a full strength with or without our resigning member. But as some emails are floating around today, I think it'd be advantageous to start the process early to look for a replacement of either the alternate member who you have the option of elevating to regular member or the regular member. We also have a regular member, Mark Citron, who is going to be term expires at the end of this year. So we'll be looking for, I guess, a couple of folks. Tomorrow we are once again listening to comments for the Skyview Skylights, which is at the end of Long Meadow Road on Sterling Mine Road. So we'll be potentially taking action on that. And that's about it. That's happening in zoning.
Is that in person, Frank, here at
Yes,
Town Hall?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is it in person only, or are you also going to be hybrid?
No, we're going to be in person because we're unfortunately not proficient yet on the whole Zoom setup, but that's the assignment for hopefully next month to get ourselves proficient in that.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Ken, Town Supervisor update?
Well, my update really has to do with all the work that we've been putting forward on this seeker review and preparing the special permit. Multiple meetings have been organized, and so you can imagine the amount of behind the scenes work that's gone into organizing these meetings. But I will say the new tennis court up at Tiki Field is really being used. People, I stop on a regular basis to talk to people using it, and both for pickleball and tennis, and the basketball court as well. I don't know if you've had the chance to go up there and look at it yet, but it really came out super. I'd like to thank Rob Dolbaum for, helping organize all that and stay on top of the contractor to make sure that the work was getting done. And he needed water up there, and Rob's guys took care of it. So thanks, Rob, to you and your guys. But it's really come along nicely, and I look forward to working with Jay and the town board when we do further analysis of the parks and see how we can continue to move that work forward, because it's certainly made a big difference. So thank you, Michelle. I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Just a couple of things. On October 19th, we met with Jewel Energy, who is the administrator for our community choice program for purchasing electricity from renewable sources. We met with it was Ken, Marissa, Lori, Deborah, Lisa, and myself, because we figured that we're going to be sort of the first point of contact when the program is officially introduced to the public. And so we're ready to go with that. It will officially kick off November 1st. There will be a 60-day public education and outreach phase. Local organizations will be contacted to spread the word and host presentations if they wish. It is anticipated that the request for proposals will be sent out early next year to suppliers of electricity generated by renewable sources. Tuxedo will be part of a consortium of municipalities that will be going out for the bids together. And we expect that if the proposals are agreeable and the terms, that we could initiate the buying program in the spring. Jewel representatives will be at our next town board meeting on November 14th for a presentation to the public. Secondly, I've contacted firms to conduct the energy audit that we decided to have on Town Hall in preparation for replacing the HVAC system. And I heard from Orange and Rockland that they will be replacing more Cobra Head street lights with LED lights as part of their 2% free upgrade program. Fortunately, we have a lot of backup from 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. So we're going to be getting 19 lights switched out and immediate savings. That's it for me. Jay?
Two things. When working with Rob and Sean, the town engineer, we've been looking at the highway garage floor, which is in need of repairs. I see that Sean issued his report earlier this evening. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, so, but that's moving forward. It's not an emergency, but something that needs to be done. And then also, trunk or treat, so everybody knows Christmas is coming. And that means decorating the train station and perhaps other town properties. And in years past, we've worked with the Chamber of Commerce, especially to decorate the train station. And we happen to have a representative here. It's time to start thinking about things like what we're gonna do and how we're gonna organize it, and whether they're gonna need to purchase more stuff because now's the time to buy it, not 10 minutes before Christmas. I don't know, Jerry, did you have anything in particular you wanted to mention, or just to bring it to people's attention?
Just to people's attention, and hopefully you'll allow us to do it. We purchased some stuff already, and we don't want to bring it back.
I mean, I'm in
That
favor
makes
of it. I
sense.
don't know if we need a resolution, or if we should do that at the next
Well, I'm
meeting, or,
Yeah, we're all in favor. I mean, you've been doing it, you do a great job.
okay, so
Yeah.
I move
I
that
mean,
we,
you have,
that
we
the
do.
Chamber of Commerce do
We'll
that.
submit a budget.
Yes, and
can you submit a budget by the next meeting? Or send it to us by email?
I think he pays for it. We don't have to pay.
Oh,
The chamber pays for it.
oh.
We'd like it even better.
Okay, so all in favor?
And then,
Aye.
and
Second.
then- and then I know that, also in previous years, the rec department has done some work there, so that we're not working at cross purposes. I'm trying to coordinate with Claire, but if anybody sees her, let's have Claire coordinate with the chamber so that we're all marching forward in unison to a happy future.
In addition, the Tuxedo Park Garden Club decorates and puts wreaths all around town.
Excellent. Oh, good. So now that my wife's a member, I'll be able to drive a truck full of wreaths around.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, more to do.
Excellent.
Excuse me one second. Jay, to your point about the highway garage floor, working with Sean, I did read his memo and he was just looking for authorization to put together an RFP. I think I probably have the authority to authorize that, but I'd just like to see your, I'm sure the town board supports that. We need to move forward. So do I have your blessing, so to speak, to move forward with Sean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Howard, do I need any kind of a resolution about that, or just have him prepare RFP?
Well, I think you just really kind of just did it.
Okay,
So, but,
Make a motion.
yeah, what'll happen, just so everybody's clear, what'll happen is he'll put together something, it'll come back to you to approve
right.
before it's sent out. So that'll be the process.
Okay. So I'll be responding to his email, Jay, and we'll just get that RFP developed. And like, as Howard said, we'll review it at the next board meeting. And of course, Jay, you take a good look at it and see if the specs make sense to what you and Rob observed, then we'll get it going.
Okay, excellent.
And just, we've been so busy with computer farms but we still have ARPA money and we have to decide where to spend it, because I think we're coming to, and I know that the pipes that are going to connect to the hopefully new sewer plant was one of the things that we discussed using it for, but there were other things, so I think we need to sit down and actually, we have $360,000. Yeah, we need to put a budget together. And also, we need to do it because I'm sure by the end of the year, we're gonna have to submit another report to the federal government, so.
I had a couple projects in mind, so.
Yeah, so let's just talk and then, Ken and Michelle
Some of
and,
it, I'm not sure it comes under the purview of the grant, but I'll get you a list of what I have in mind,
okay,
and then we can go from there.
okay.
I think we decided that the HVA system here in Town Hall would be
offended by that.
Yeah,
Oh,
it-
good, perfect, yeah,
That's
that's
one,
good.
that's one
Yeah.
of the things
Yeah.
that we had in mind.
I mean, I think we
Because-
have, I mean, we can divide it up, or we can use it all in one. I mean, it doesn't matter how, the more we divide it up, the more complicated the submissions are.
They wanna
To,
put it on me. I got it.
yeah.
Yeah,
so-
such a willing participant.
A few weeks ago, they did have a leak in the AC unit down
Yeah.
here in the hallway. And at the time, the person that came and did it said that the system is extremely old, is in dire need of replacement. So that's probably a real good move. to,
Yeah.
I think we got that
We have
surplus
that.
when they decommissioned the Ark.
There you go.
All right, that's it.
So, my turn? Okay, so I'm working on a holiday concert for, working with St. Mary's. Yeah, St. Mary's. They've given me dates. I found a chamber music quintet that can do the concert. And we want to do it in conjunction with the food bank, so we would be able to, get donations from residents. But everything is working in place, and hopefully the next town board meeting, I will have a full plan for you so we can move forward. But to date, everybody is available for the week before Christmas to be able to do an afternoon concert, about an hour, chamber music, really well-known local artists. It's a wind, it's Bach, Rossini, Debussy, a small program, so,
Excellent.
yeah.
Beautiful. The church is a beautiful venue
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that-
They're very excited about doing it because they don't have a plan right now, so this would fill their plan. So
Excellent.
that's it.
Update on Greenway, or is that?
Oh, Greenway, okay, so Greenway is moving forward. We are due to do our final application by November 4th. We have reached out to many people within the community so that they could review what we're doing and give us letters of support. We've reached out to the Chamber of Commerce. I also spoke to the person who was interested in buying the Red Apple Rest and asked him to send us a letter because an economic overview of the Route 17 corridor would be helpful to all of us to know what businesses could actually thrive there and what businesses may not be able to thrive there. So we are working on that, and we hope to, once that's complete, and if we do in fact get this grant, we've talked to the Chamber of Commerce about doing a reception and inviting all the business owners and people in the town to come and review their findings and get their feedback on what they think of the research that we're going to have, and also come up with other suggestions. So that hopefully will be done by the end of the year, and we can put a reception together.
Thank you.
Eagle Lake.
Eagle Lake, okay, this is our project. As you all know, I walk around Eagle Lake probably 3 times a day. So Eagle Lake, we went back to, and Jay, thank you for your recommendations because I gave it to them. I went back to Pipsy and I talked to them about coming up with a compromise to looking at all the different things they're doing. So Rob and I are meeting with them in a week on site to talk about putting in a natural spill so that it would be able to maintain a certain water level so that it wasn't going to create a mud flat, which is our biggest concern. So that we can, keep the integrity of the lake and make sure that the wildlife and me personally, when I walk it, are able to maintain the lake. So we've given them some ideas, and you, go ahead.
Well, yeah, what we've done in the past is try to work with them with their beaver deceiver, which they kind of got out of hand with. They put it to within a couple feet of our road drains and undermined our road drains and our road. We just placed a head wall there last week, 2 weeks ago, to try to prevent that. Now, they plan on using our road drainage as lake drainage, which is not ideal for the situation. We would have to probably increase our road drainage to allow them to drain their lake, which I believe leaving the lake in place would be a better
Right.
solution. So we're going to talk about that on the 7th, I think.
And they're open to it. They said they
Yeah,
were
right,
open to, some solutions that would serve both of our needs. Their big
Right.
concern is the flooding on Eagle Valley Road. And if we
Right.
can
Well,
show them that we're not going to have that.
Well, the original spillway, which there's still pieces of it in
Yeah.
place, if that was reinstalled or repaired, you would solve the problem with the lake, the dam and the lake problem. But that doesn't seem to go anywhere with that.
That didn't seem to get us very far.
They don't want to spend money, and they're saying the DEC wants them to tear the dam down and this and that. In my crazy idea, I thought maybe a land swap or something where the town would take it over, but we'll have to see where that goes. I think we just acquired some land up on 17A. It would make a nice swap for that property to that property, and the town can upgrade and fix the lake like it used to be. Maybe hold the kids fishing derbies there and skating and that type of stuff like it used to be. I don't know. That's,
It used to be a
that-
recreational lake, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I heard people used to go swimming there.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, it could be, but it'd have to be brought back, But they don't have a desire to do it. Maybe they don't have the money to do it. The park is usually not so well funded to do projects like that, so. So we'll see where it goes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone had a chance to look at the minutes? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of the regular bi-monthly town board meeting held on October 12th, 2022. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
No?
All in favor?
Aye.
Just
Aye.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to make a motion that the following vouchers, having been audited by the town board, are approved. Claim numbers 201-292-0688 through 201-292-0749. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thanks, Jay. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Okay. Second public comment period.
I know that Jerry had a hand up when we were discussing signs. You still have something you want to say, or you think better of it?
No, I'm glad you say it.
Okay. Please.
Jerry Matola, 7 Southside Place, Tuxedo, New York. First of all, can we put a more permanent speed radar sign coming in Tuxedo? And second of all, can we have the police have radar there and stop people? It's ridiculous. The minimum speed limit, I think, is 55 going through there. And there's a school district there.
I thought it was 35.
It is 35.
Oh,
but
it goes
Oh,
to
yeah,
35.
okay.
That's commentary.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think Ken made a comment the last time about, looking for more part-timers, right, Ken? For as far as police coverage goes?
Well, we're interviewing for 2 full-timers, and the chief is actively pursuing filling our roster to the full complement of 6 part-timers. So Lori and I are actively working on those interview setups, and I expect that to be happening within the next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
I have a raised hand, so I'm going to unmute.
Okay. Want to call on Mary Gretzer?
Yeah.
Hey, Mary?
Yes. Hello.
Hi, Mary.
when you're talking about the Route 17 corridor coming into town, that section there for many years used to be a school zone. And somehow or another, the sign for school zone got knocked down and nobody has ever been successful in getting the Department of DOT to put another one up. So I'm just wondering if, wouldn't it make sense? I mean, there's a school there. We should have a school zone there. It should be 30 miles an hour during certain hours of the day. Just consider it, please. I think that would be the safest thing to do.
And thank you. Maybe we'll ask Howard.
Well, I'm on a
next steps
first
for
name basis with the traffic people.
Oh, there you go.
Ask them. when I
Well, we,
speak to
they're,
them. Although they
they're
don't really
hard.
like me very much.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we try to put a sign, a light, even a flashing light on Orange Turnpike and Route 17, and they said not enough people had died. So it's like,
Very
how many people have to
uncooperative.
die?
Very
We're ready to put
difficult.
a sign.
But they've been, Maria, they've been saying that since 1992.
Yeah, they're very difficult.
But these are kids I'm talking
I
about.
know,
Oh, we agree
I
with
know.
I agree with you, but, well, let's.
I will
let's-
call them
let's
again.
reach out again and see what we
I
can.
will, yeah, I will take that on.
As they
Okay.
say in Japan, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down.
Well, we have a new chief now, so all of these traffic issues are high on our conversational priorities. I assure you.
Yeah, but I remember that school sign.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine if it's already been declared a school zone, which makes obvious sense, that it's not actually a matter of declaring it, so to speak, a school zone. It sounds like, as Mary's pointing out, the sign was knocked down and never replaced.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Howard could give us some, solid. We
Yeah,
should.
let me look into that and I'll follow up too.
Great, thank you, Howard. Because I would imagine, Howard, if it already was a school zone, that it hasn't changed. It's just, we just need to put a little more pressure on replacing the sign and possibly getting something a little bit better than just, I see these signs that might actually be illuminated that say, school zone, certain times,
Yep.
But thank you.
No.
Thank you.
We have other business.
Any minute now.
We have two other business things.
Okay, you want to do yours first?
Sure. Okay. I think that's it for public comments. Another minute or? Okay, we have other business. First, as Frank Peverly, Chair of our zoning board, mentioned, there are positions on his board coming up at the end of the year. And we also need to consider positions for the planning board and the Board of Assessment Review. So we'll need to move forward with posting those. Any comment or discussion?
We have we have a sort of standard ad copy already. It's just a matter of posting it, right?
Yeah, exactly. We started the process of posting these positions around this time of year and having interviews with people. The boards are all structured, so somebody's term expires every year. And those people are always welcome to come to us and say they want to continue in that position. We're more than happy to welcome them to the discussion.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll do that for all three boards.
So yes,
Okay,
let's post that stuff.
all right. That's all.
I don't think we need a motion to
I
do
don't
that.
think so. No, it's just a process we do. Okay, now,
All
would you
right.
like to make the motion?
Sure, back to page 9. Look at that, somebody's already got it.
I'm ready.
Okay, so, introduced by me. Whereas an introductory local law entitled Food Trucks was introduced before the town board of the town of Tuxedo on September 26th, 2022, and upon notice duly published and posted, a hearing was held on October 24th, 2022 before the town board
And whereas public discussion was heard at such hearing concerning the merits and environmental significance of said introductory local law, now therefore be it resolved that the adoption of the introductory local law entitled Food Trucks is hereby determined not to have significant effect on the environment. And be it further resolved that introductory local law entitled Food Trucks of the Town of Tuxedo be and hereby is adopted as local law number 7 of 2022 of the Town of Tuxedo on October 24th. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Seconded by Deidre. So, there are a couple of discussion items that I'll open up right away. First of all, earlier today, the building clerk noticed that the version of the law that's been circulated recently and that was on the website references the zoning official, which we don't actually have. We have a code enforcement official.
Oh, okay.
Howard made that change in the language. It's not significant. It's just getting the proper title in there. But in case anybody's keeping score, it's now going to be the code enforcement official who is the arbiter of these things. And the other discussion item is a question of whether we're going to extend operating hours to 11 o'clock from 9 o'clock as it has been in the language so far. I personally think that's fine. I think that concerns about, it doesn't supersede all of the rules about creating a nuisance and violating noise ordinances or things like that. So, I mean, that's been requested. I don't have any objections to it, but that's me.
Well, I was just thinking, how about 10 o'clock is the law that we have before us says 9,
Yes.
and the comment was 11, and I'm just wondering if 10 o'clock might be, that would be my suggestion.
Another variation could be weekend hours, possibly, to 11 on Friday and Saturday, maybe. Not that these food trucks would have much business after 9 o'clock anyway on a Wednesday evening, but I like the notion of 10 o'clock, certainly during the week, and possibly 11 on Fridays and Saturdays.
It's a good compromise.
The only issue I have with that is it's complicated and who's going to keep track of it. I
Right.
think it's easier to have
A standard.
a time. And then, because then are we going to do something special for Sundays on 3-day weekends? And I mean, just let's keep it simple. Let's have a set time, and we can always go back and amend it if we need to.
That's true, we can always go back.
Order your tacos before 9:55. What can I say?
To be clear, this is not just tacos.
No.
I'm sorry, I
I'm-
stepped
I
on
am-
the discussion.
I mean, I'm okay with 11, but 10 is fine too. I mean, if the person that suggested it has experience with it and she feels that that would be a better, then, whatever. I don't think that,
I don't think it's significant one way or another.
Deirdre?
Yes, sir? I hear mumbling.
Well, Deirdre?
Oh, I don't have any preference either. I think keeping it simple is the best solution, just one time. So, yeah, I doubt people will be having tacos after 10 myself, but.
yeah, so why don't we just do 10?
And if, people keep coming back asking for 11, we can
We'll change it.
see how it goes. See how it goes with 10. Howard, anything else you think we should consider?
No, I think with the change to 10 and the other change that's already before you, I think it's ready for you to act on.
Any other comments?
Nope.
No? All right, then I will call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And to Ken's comment, previously, we, at some point, probably in the resolutions for next year, we have to come up with fees,
Right, yeah, that's true.
but we're not going to get to.
Okay. So, any other new business?
That's all I have.
All right. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting of the town board at 9:45. I'm sorry, that's 8:45.
We can
Thank
stay that long if
goodness.
you
Early.
want.
That's early.
It's early for us.
It's not early.
8:45. Do I have a second?
Oh, yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does it matter if I say no?
No, there's a quorum here.
Thank you, everyone, for
very much.
coming.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.